Good morning, Year 4. Welcome to your English lesson for Monday, the 1st of February. I thought I'd start our lesson today by introducing you to a new member of my family. Just one moment. Here he is. This is Snowman Elijah. And down here, we have got the snowman baby Theo. This was, believe it or not, a baby snowman. They've both melted a lot overnight. And if you have a look over here, my neighbour has got an even better snowman. You see that one there? Again, it's looking a little bit worse for wear after a night melting. But your first challenge this morning, I would like you to write. Well, you don't have to write it, just think of 2 sentences with expanded noun phrases to describe our snowmen. What could you say about our poor melty snowmen? Pause the video, have a think. Maybe you could say on the lawn was a frosty white snowman, or standing proudly, the glistening friendly snowman, crowned the lawn, or fading away into nothing was the sad, lonely snowman. I'd love to see what you came up with. I'll see you again in a minute. Right, hello again. I hope you enjoyed that Year 4 and you came up with some really nice sentences about my poor little snowman. So today is the 1st of February 2021. And your WALT is we are learning to plan our writing by discussing and recording ideas. The first thing you need to do, please, is to write those down and underline them. So pause the video and write your date and WALT, please. Okay, well done. Now I'd like you to have a think. You have just finished writing your innovated story, and we are now going to move on to our invented story. So what kind of story would you like to create? It's still going to be a natural disaster story. Who would you put in your story? What would happen? Where do you think it would happen? When would it happen? Is it going to be set in 2021 or will it be set in the past? Why will your natural disaster happen and how will it happen? Just have an initial think. What would you like to write about? Okay, the next thing I want you to do before we carry on with our lesson, please, is to just copy this table into your books. If you have got a printer, you are very welcome to just print it. Otherwise, I just want you to copy this main bit here. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3 columns and 3 headings: earthquakes, hurricanes and tsunamis. So pause the video and use your ruler, please, to copy my table into your book. Okay, during our last lesson with Mrs. Pluge, you did some really brilliant editing of your innovative story, and we are really, really impressed with the stories you have come up with. They are superb. Some really lovely, rich language, some interesting plots. You should all be very proud of what you have written. Our writing target is still to use expanded noun phrases. So when you start writing your invented story, you must remember, please, to include those adjectives to turn your nouns from simple nouns into expanded noun phrases. That will make your story far more exciting for your reader. Now, for your invented story, you get to choose which natural disaster will take place. But I want you to just have a think. What do you already know about natural disasters? I'd like you to pause the video and come up with as many natural disasters as you can, please. I wonder what you came up with. Let's just make sure we are all really clear on the difference between a natural and a human disaster. So, A natural disaster is a disaster caused by nature or natural events. These include floods, hurricanes, and tornadoes. A human disaster is a disaster caused by a human action. These include things like oil spills, chemical explosions, and gas leaks in factories. We are going to be focusing on the natural disasters in this unit, not the human disasters. So, natural disasters could be things like hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, avalanche, a drought, a flood, a landslide, a tornado, or a volcanic eruption. And there are others that I haven't got listed here, so you might have come up with some others. We are going to be focusing on the top 3 today: hurricanes, earthquakes, and tsunamis. So I think it's really important that we don't just write our story about any natural disaster. It's got to be something that we know about, because the facts and the description that we put into our story is going to make it a really high quality text. So, could you pick one of those natural disasters on my picture and out loud describe it with as much description as you can? Try and use a range of different senses. So, I'm going to go for the forest fires, and I'm going to say, I can see glowing fire racing towards me. I can smell burning embers, and the smell is irritating my nose. I can hear screaming and crackling noises. I wonder if you could pick one, please, and come up with some description using all of your senses. Pause the video and have a go. How confident were you at doing that? I know I wasn't very confident. I struggled a little bit with that. I don't know if you could tell. I think I need to know a little bit more about these natural disasters before I start writing my story. So today we are going to research the 3 natural disasters. Now this is the second time I filmed this video. The first time I filmed it, I put all the videos into my video so that I could talk you through and help you with your research. Unfortunately, that one's been blocked by YouTube because of copyright issues. So I'm going to have to give you the links to the videos so that you can go away on your own and do that research on your own today. What you are going to do, you are going to write notes. You don't need to write everything that the video says. And let's have a look at what Emmett said here. So Emmett said that as year 4s, we need lots of detail. So you must write in full sentences and copy everything the narrator on the video says. Do you agree? Would you like to build on or would you like to challenge Emmett? Well, actually, I think I've just given the game away. Hopefully you want to challenge Emmett. You do not need to write everything that the video says. You do not even need to write full sentences. When we write notes, we can write in bullet points, and we can just write a few words or even abbreviate things, shorten things. As long as you know what your notes are saying and they are useful for your writing, then they are perfectly good notes. One thing I will say though is just because they are notes does not mean they need to be scruffy. I'd like to see your neatest work today, your really neat handwriting, please. So your task is to research each of these disasters and take notes in the relevant columns. Now your step to success, I'd like you to write clear notes. I'd like you to write relevant notes. You only need to write things that you think will help you when you write your story. So you don't need to write lots and lots and lots of scientific detail unless you think you might refer to it in your story. I want to know what is each of these disasters and what is the impact? What happens? What would we experience if there was an earthquake? You might say, oh, buildings might fall down, windows might break, the floor might break open. I would probably hear lots of screaming and shouting. So what would be the impact? What would happen around me if there was an earthquake, a hurricane, a tsunami? What actually is an earthquake? What is a hurricane? What is a tsunami? I hope that's clear. So I've started my note taking here just to show you the sort of thing that we are looking for. So I've said that the earthquake is the Earth's tectonic plates bumping or grinding against each other. Felt up to 1,000 miles away. You'll see that's not a full sentence, is it? That's a note. Epicenter. I've written down the word epicenter. You should find out what that is when you watch our video. I put tsunami equals earthquake under sea. So a tsunami is actually an earthquake under the sea. And then I put it can make items fall, windows break, buildings collapse, trenches in the ground. And I've said how devastating it is. And then I've started my notes about hurricanes, but I haven't done very much yet. Hopefully, though, that gives you an idea of what we are looking for from you today. So what you need to do now, in the work schedule document that we have uploaded to Class Dojo for you today, you will find a link for earthquakes, a link for hurricanes, and a link for tsunamis. You will also find that I've provided you with the link to National Geographic Kids. That is because you can use the search bar at the top of the National Geographic Kids website to find out a little bit more, and it will show you some photos of these natural disasters, so you'll be able to see what the impact is like. So good luck with your work today, and I can't wait to see what you do when you send it through later. When you have finished your work, I would like you to draw a learning line to show me how you feel about note-taking, please. Have a think overnight which natural disaster you think you would like to include when we come back together tomorrow to plan your invented story. Have a lovely day, Year 4. Take care.